Welcome back to Daily Defi. Today's June 15th of 2021. We'll be discussing Beefy Finance, Klayswap, 1inch, 3 decentralized finance altcoins that are doing quite well on the 24-hour time frame with Bitcoin, breaking past that 40K mark. It rose a lot of those altcoins, so it's good to see, in the top decentralized finance tokens. Most of these are in the green. Also, an article on a new AI-powered yield gen farming protocol in the decentralized finance space used on Solana and Binance Smart Chain. So quite interesting. And then the other article is on the G7 conference and how they are focused on now like ransomware and cryptocurrency and fighting against this. So we talk about all those things and more, but as always with Daily DeFi, we kick things off with DeFi Pulse and juicy NFTs to keep our fingers on the pulse of the decentralized finance market. So total value locked in has risen a little bit, $62.76 billion. Aave dominance has fallen to 14.88%, which is good to see. And now a lot of these has risen, like Maker has gone up a little bit. But these for a long time, that those three that were just behind Aave, so Maker, Curve, Compound, are all around $7 billion, while Aave has been very, very consistently above $12 billion. So as I said, DeFi Pulse Index about 5% up on the daily at 340.61. Moving on to juicy NFTs. Now, this is also very important to track, in my opinion, every single day, because you get the opportunity to go, okay, where's the non-fungible token market moving? Like, what are these top projects in the space? Typically, you see CryptoPunks. Typically, you see like Sandbox Lands up there. But today, the volume is very, very low at 33,000, tiny. ENS, Known Origins, Crypto Stamp Editions, those are really the main ones. Then this first article from Decrypt on that G7 conference, again, that went from Friday to Sunday. And it was very important to watch, the main things coming out of there. A lot of it's just kind of saving face kind of to the public, in my opinion, for like what they actually do. I was in a Biarritz. I talked about this in a previous Daily DeFi, and they had a G7 conference there, a similar time I was there, and everybody's freaking out. It's almost like a rock concert. It's like the things they actually get done at these conferences, maybe behind closed doors, some of these things are decent, but what they release to the public isn't all that beneficial, right? Like it's just having all these leaders from the G7 countries. Russia used to be in it, and then obviously you had some falling out, right? But not a lot coming out of this conference, to be quite honest. But this was quite interesting, kind of their approach on ransomware in the crypto space. So G7 leaders have committed to fighting ransomware attacks. Major hacks from Russian-based gangs have disrupted the U.S. supply chains in recent weeks. Ransomware is typically facilitated by cryptocurrency. So this is the thing, is you can't really, if it's a proper blockchain project and it's truly set up decentralized, you can't really fight it. Like just like if they try and go after Uniswap, or if they try and go after really any decentralized application that's actually doing it right, that has the right tokenomics, they have the right decentralization distribution, there's no single point of failure, right? So you can't, it's like attacking water. You can jump in water, you can punch water as much as you want. The water's just going to move around you. It's just going to adapt to the situation, and it doesn't matter if they say, like India, hey, we're going to ban this stuff. The user adoption actually goes up, because as long as you have an internet connection, you can connect with these things. They don't require KYC. So interesting things here. So G7 leaders are formalizing their commitment to fight against ransomware, a type of malicious software capable of freezing a network until a ransom is paid. And they did this, with the pipeline, which is very, very interesting, actually. And they were forced to pay ransoms in Bitcoin. And especially if you're using let's say like Tornado Cash or Lightning Network on top of Bitcoin, it makes it even more so they can use this. So very interesting things. I think it's a double-edged sword, but honestly, there's more. There's so many more illegal transactions done in fiat currency, like actually in US dollars mainly, but you see it in Japanese yen, you see it in Russian rubles, you see it like here in Georgia in laris. So cash is even more untraceable, because there's no internet stamp. And then next, Cointelegraph. So as always, whenever I'm talking about these new protocols like this King Swap or whatever it is, always be careful, do your own research, make sure there's a great project. And it basically ranks, it's like DeFi safety. I'll have it linked down below in the description, but it basically ranks, like if you're going to do yield gen, if you're going to do these different things like yield farming, it ranks them as far as safety goes. And it's always important to put it in this. So King DeFi is on Binance Smart Chain and Solana. I've been very, very bullish on Solana. I think it has a lot more room to grow, especially Polkadot as well. So a DeFi platform says it offers the first artificial intelligence-powered yield farming aggregator that works across Binance Smart Chain and Solana. King DeFi has adopted a medieval theme as it interacts with users who are referred to as knights. The ecosystem wants to take the guesswork out of finding new and exciting opportunities in decentralized finance space. Knights can provide liquidity and stake directly through the platform, and an intuitive monitoring function unlocks an at-a-glance insight into the major protocols operating on Binance Smart Chain and Solana. Now, this is quite interesting. This is kind of why it caught my eyes, because a lot of these projects, they're just focused on giving you insanely high yield. They say, 500% APY. Obviously, as more capital inflows, the APY goes down, just like, PancakeSwap, when I originally got into it under $1, the APY was something like close up to around 200%. Now it's closer to like 116%. So as more capital comes in, this APY is dynamic, right? So King DeFi says all the farming contracts that appear on its platform are pre-approved and ranked as safe by highly experienced developers. And this helps to make rug pulls, a common danger in the DeFi space, very unlikely. The technical standard of all projects are rigorously addressed before they are listed, with highly reputable and well-known projects getting priority access. The platform's native Crown token has also undergone security audits by TechRate. TechRate's actually a great audit company, by the way. That's always very important. Is now CoinMarketCap has it shown these here, like this. You see this verified data. Like when these things are verified, that means it's audited, right? So that's always very, very important in this space, is making sure these things are verifiable, right? Because you're kind of going against the whole point of the space if you're just trusting them. Like, you're just trusting what they say. No. You should either know someone who can verify it or verify it yourself. And I think that's the most important thing. So moving on to top decentralized finance tokens. As I said, majority of these are obviously in the green. You see these charts, it's about the same, kind of a little bit of a bull flag. Sorry for the yawn. Kind of a little bit of bull flag up there. A little bit of a consolidation. You can call it a rising wedge as well. But most of these are in that same pattern. But I did find some of these very interesting, like 1inch, for example. 1inch had a very nice recovery. I picked some of 1inch up on this dip. Let's hop over here. Go to all. I picked some of 1inch up. I think it was around it's before that. Yeah, it was. I didn't buy this dip perfectly, obviously, but I think it was around like $2.50, something like that. I bought in at, and now it did this nice little recovery. I'm kind of looking forward to when it pops back up to that $7.50 mark. I also have some 1inch from airdrops in the past, but yeah. Anyways, 1inch. This is ranked number 103 on about 101,000 watch lists. $3.72, about 25% up on the daily. Market cap of $641 million. Let's see, volume is pretty nice actually. That's up 258% at $307 million. Good to see this one. I mean, it's really held pretty steady. I mean, 1inch is a pretty solid product. Really hasn't had an insane skyrocket. But I mean, what they're doing fundamentally is great. The use case of a decentralized exchange aggregator is massive. Obviously, there can be more competitors that come out that do different things. But I think 1inch has really stayed on top of the ball as far as this goes. Plus, they have that brand. They have that kind of brand name recognition. As long as they don't screw that up, I think they have a promising future. So I'm moving on to Klayswap. This is one that I've considered doing a deep dive video on. So if you would want to see that with Klayswap, just let me know in the comments. This is ranked 249 on about 2,000 watch lists, up about 34% on the daily, right around $25 as well. $190 million market cap, right around there. Geez, that volume's insane. What is that? Like an 8,000, 85,000%. That's pretty crazy. I mean, yeah, so this is retraced very, very far from those peaks, right? Like, it was at around 80, went down to that bottom around 17. So now it started to see this little bit of a rise, but that volume really picked up. That's pretty insane. Someone must have dumped a ton of capital in here. $14 million got dumped in. Pretty crazy, right? So next, Beefy Finance, BIFI. Apologize for the construction noises in the back. Jeez. Ranked number 278. Around 12,000 watch list. Let's see, $1,676. And again, people get thrown off by these prices. I mean, it all depends, again, guys, on circulating versus max supply. Like, if the max supply of this is it's 80,000 tokens. So if it's 80 million tokens or 80 billion tokens, that's what drives the price. Like, if it's 80 billion tokens, this is probably going to be worth maybe $1 or a couple cents, right? But when you have 80,000 tokens, it's completely different, right? It's all that structuring. I think so many people have this kind of I don't know if it's like a logical fallacy or a cognitive bias, but they see this high price and they're like, oh, that's not for me. I'd rather buy something that's cents. It's like, man, same with Bitcoin. Like, Bitcoin, in my opinion, is much better than XRP, but people see XRP at this low price and like, oh, maybe I'll get into that, or maybe I'll get into these other projects that are under $1. Who cares if it's under $1? You can get the same exposure. That's the whole point of tokenized assets, right? Anyways, I digress. So I said 18% up on the daily, market cap $121 million. Volume is around 12 million. Right around 50% up on the daily. This retraced from $3,278 back down to this low of $446. Wow, and now it's kind of done this nice little pump. I mean, this is a little bit. I think that's a little bit ridiculous. I think BIFI or Beefy Finance, whatever you call it, will retrace, test down back at these levels at closer to $1,000, and then maybe have a further high, come up with these levels, and kind of consolidate in there. But I mean, most of these projects, to be quite honest with you, I think we will be seeing more higher highs, right? So that's basically all for this daily DeFi. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, bell button all. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to stay up to date. Join the Telegram group. Follow us on Twitter at investglobal_IO. Again, leave me a comment if you have any questions or you want to see a deep dive into any of these topics I talked about. That's all for this one. Again, like, subscribe button all. Join the Telegram group. Invest Global. And until next time.